Hi guys, this is portion number 3 of the video series. This is the self-treating with Prestax and your acupressuretation or non-insertive tool. This is going to be super easy. You only have 6 points to remember. These points cover pretty much any symptom you could have, head to toe, along your body. They work synergistically together as well. I won't get caught in the weeds too much trying to go over specific actions and effects of each point. If you're interested in that stuff, you can definitely look it up. I'll give the names of each area as I treat. The important thing to remember is when you're self-treating at home with these Prestax is that these are not hypodermic, okay? That means these needles are safe. If they fall off on the rug, on the floor, they're not gonna do any harm to you, pets, little ones. I would normally say treat and leave these on until they fall off, where we're trying to get a couple treatments in a week with acupressure. Put them on, leave them for a day or two, remove them, and then hit it again a second time that week. If they fall off ahead of time, it's not a big deal. If anything's pinchy, uncomfortable, again, not a big deal. As long as you have these on for a little while on a given day, you should have enough stimulation to do the trick. The order that you start in doesn't matter. If it were me, I would just follow along in the same order that I'm going to show you in the video. The zones that I show you, I'll give you some specific, guidelines and like areas how I like to locate these points, but it's important to remember that the area you have to treat is not so specific that if you are a little to the left, a little to the right, a little above or below, you're not going to do any harm to yourself. The actions and what we're trying to accomplish is still going to get done, even if your point location isn't super specific. Just do your best. Like when you're trying to get things located. Watch the video, rewatch it if you're not sure. Maybe rewatch it a third time. If something doesn't feel right, just start over. You can always find that info online or email me. But I'll jump right into it. I may split this video up into 2 parts if this gets a little wordy or a little bit long. The first point that I want you to treat, I want you to start on the right side of the body just because it's easy and I remember doing it in that order when I remember things. The first point you're going to treat is large intestine 4. Large intestine 4 is located right between your 2 metacarpal bones. You've got your pointer finger and your thumb finger. This muscle right in the middle, you're going to kind of place that right at the center of where that muscle sticks up. So when you bring your thumb and forefinger together, that's roughly where the area is going to be. Another locating tip is if you took the length of this bone and imagine where about the halfway point is, and then rolled off the bone into that area, that's about where you want to put large intestine 4. So if I can do this backwards, I've just placed large intestine 4. You basically want to aim for the center of that muscle. Another location tip is if you push and palpate around, there's that famous headache point. If you've got a headache, people say to push here. That's large intestine 4. On the same hand, so I've placed large intestine 4. I want to put a point called triple warmer 5. So the way you find triple warmer 5 is you locate where your wrist crease happens naturally, wherever your wrist crease is. I like to put 3 fingers up against my wrist crease. About where that 3rd finger lands is triple warmer 5. There's a nice hole here on most people. If you can't see it, that's fine, but if you push around, you're going to feel bone. Oh, there's a hole right in between. Probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches down. Again, triple warmer 5 is an area. It's a zone. I wouldn't stress out about it. Triple warmer 5 is the second point that you're going to treat. Both large intestine 4 and triple warmer 5 are awesome for any problems of the head, face, and neck. That includes headaches, dizziness, jaw stuff, shoulder stuff, upper back stuff. Stuff is a scientific term. These can be a little tender, especially points around the hands and wrists. They tend to bump up against stuff a lot. So if these bug you at all, you can take them off. You can also put a piece of tape over them to help them stay a little longer. It's not important that these stay on the whole week, but I'd always start with points on the hand, large intestine 4, triple warmer 5. The next thing I'm going to show you, we're going to switch hands. Just while we're doing hands, we may as well stay with it. On your left side, you're going to treat a point called lung 7. All right, lung 7, super easy to find. If you make a thumbs up sign like this, thumbs up, turn your thumb sideways, this opens up. Let me turn this angle a little bit. Give a thumbs up. This opens up this little hole here. This is called your anatomical snuff box. From here, if you were to draw a line up, you want to go about 1.5 inches up from your wrist crease or that anatomical snuff box. And this point's located right at the top of your wrist. So again, it's a zone. Lung channel lives kind of right along this area. This point benefits anything cough, sneezing, asthma, allergies, sore throat. Good for fever, chills. So lung 7, I'm giving a thumbs up. We've got this nice little box that opens up about 1.5 inches up from that box. Probably hard to see that one. Lung 7. Now, if you're a little bit off, again, this one's not going to throw you really badly. Make sure you stick these press tacks down. If your arms are hairy like mine, they may not stick so great. A little piece of tape over this can help it to stay. If you want to get nuts with it, you can always shave the hair down a little bit. Lung 7, well done. Keeping on the same hand, I get asked a lot about stress, anxiety, nausea, insomnia. A point that we treat for that is called pericardium 6. So if you're going to pretend you're a tiger and scratch someone with your claws, when you make a claw, that tends to show these tendons, these flexor tendons of your hand. Right between the tendons, I'd say 2 finger widths down from your wrist crease, 2 finger widths down between the tendons. It's pretty close to the same area as lung 7 on most people. If you poke around, you'll find a little tender spot. If it's not tender, I wouldn't worry about it. But a spot right in the middle of your forearm, when you make that flexion, that area is pericardium 6, which is not only good, like I said, for stress, anxiety, insomnia, sleep. It's great for opening up the chest, opening up the lungs. A little known side effect to this point, it's awesome for nausea, vomiting. We give it to pregnant women for morning sickness. Now notice how this is a little to the side. Depending what angle you're holding your hand at, it may look like it's more to the center. Than when you turn your hand, obviously skin is going to stretch and move it over. As long as it was in that center position when you put it on, don't worry so much if the point moves around a little bit afterwards. Wrapping up, we're going to go to a couple leg points. Last 2 points you have to remember are going to be stomach 36 and spleen 9. I'm going to give